We posted something the other day about the owner of the Denver Nuggets is an
A white
HBCU.
woman.
Yeah, white woman, and she's
She's
an
an
HBCU grad.
HBCU graduate. Where did she go?
Lincoln University in Missouri.
Again, Missouri.
Yeah, right.
But
So we get
Fantasia right now.
yeah,
We all know Fantasia's story, but she's enrolled now in Ohio. It was at Central State.
yep, Central State.
Mhm. So
Yeah,
things like that people can relate to about, your upbringing and lack of education or just lack of opportunity, and then going back. Like Fantasia's established. She ain't got to get no degree at this point,
you're
but she's
right.
choosing to because she wants to be an example. And so people in those situations with those kind of platforms, I definitely applaud that.
Absolutely. Talk to me about Yardopoly. How did you get the idea? How was the manufacturing process? Tell me about the gameplay, and then what type of feedback have you received?
Okay. Well, I did create a game called Yardopoly. It is a real game. I have it here. It's physically here. I love it.
Too dope.
These characters are actually all created after my nieces and nephews. I have 9 nieces and nephews. So each one of them, they know who they are. So they were my inspiration for the characters in the game that I illustrated. During COVID, when we were all at home and watching every movie and TV show that was available, I couldn't find any HBCU board games, card games, app games. I couldn't find anything because we were just at home. And then significantly, that was the first year that there was not a homecoming at any school. 2020, there was nobody had a homecoming. And, we were missing it at that point because a lot of people, that's our one time a year that we do get to go back and, just live in that moment of, what that greatness was for us. And there was nothing there, and everybody was looking for something. And I play a lot of board games. I love hosting a game night, and we were playing Monopoly. And I was like, I was just Googling. Again, we were at home. We had time. There's over 150 versions of Monopoly. There's no black characters. There's no black version of Monopoly. Even it was like I found something called Comptonopoly, but that wasn't through Hasbro. That was something that somebody else created and sold through Walmart. There was nothing to educate the kids who were sitting at home because, again, these 9 nieces and nephews were at home with my siblings, and they were having to be home taught and learn and come up with activities. And I was like, okay, what if this is like what if this is the new normal? Like, no more in person, no more school, everything virtual. How are these kids going to learn about HBCUs? How are they going to, learn facts and things like that? And so I said, okay, Yardopoly, HBCU version of Monopoly. Okay, cool. I like that. Instead of community chess and chance cards, I want HBCU facts and trivia. And then I want stuff that we go through on the campus, like having to get we call it a swipe in Virginia State. So your meal card, having to pay money for your meal card, having to buy a book voucher, standing in line buying those expensive books at the bookstore, selling them, get money for selling them back, the student refund that you get when you don't use all your financial aid money, like certain elements and things. So I wanted kids, alumni, supporters to be able to play this game and get a good understanding of what the general idea of what an HBCU attending one is like. And so I have general events on here like homecoming, pep rally, step show, midnight breakfast, SGA elections, fashion show, step show. This what generally happens at every HBCU. And I just wanted them to have an idea of it because, again, if the world shuts down again and people are still able to see, the thing is, college didn't stop. They went virtual. Education never stopped, but how they were receiving it stopped. So I thought of this as a fun educational tool to not only celebrate our traditions of our universities and things that we loved, but also wanted this to be an educational tool for students in school who may not get to do college tours anymore, because again, with COVID, there was no college road trips. There were no tours. Everything was virtual. It was like, look at this video and this is where you're going to pay $30,000 to come. So at least this way they could have some kind of hands-on. And as well, this is also homage to College Hill as well. Our season, we all had all the active student life on there. So that's where I got that idea from. But it's available on the Game Crafter in a standard and deluxe version. This is the deluxe version. Got all the parts and everything in there. Let me show you the board. I'm really proud of this board. Like this really took me, I started designing this in 2017. And of course, with me filming Love and Hip Hop and everything else that was going on, I would come to it, come back to it. But really during COVID, when I just had time to be at home and focus on it, is when it came to life, and it was perfect timing. And I relaunched it when College Hill Celebrity Edition came back. So
nice. I like that. Yeah, I gotta get one of those.
Thank you. So yeah, I was just, like I said, I'm creative. I used to draw a lot when I was a kid, and I love creating. Again, I don't ever want to be in a box. Like, you couldn't have told me that I was going to be a board game creator, and there's a lot of, and the thing is, what got me really interested in this space was because there are not a lot of board games that are created by people of color available. There are not a lot of characters within these board games that are people of color either. We represent maybe 5% of the actual overall board game space and video game space. So there's a lot of money there for people to develop and create games, educational games for people of color. So if any of you guys are interested in have a board game idea, research some of these foundations and organizations, because they definitely give out money for African Americans to create games for Black people. So,
nice.
But people loved it. People have bought it. They've sent me videos of them playing it. A lot of my alumni bought it as a keepsake. Like, they still got the plastic on it. They don't want to open it. Right. Like, they was like, nope, I done paid my money. This is a keep, because it really is cute. And I love the packaging on it. And a lot of what really made me happy was a couple of young ladies that bought the game. I got a lot of messages, but these three stood out. And they were saying that their daughters wanted to be like the cheerleader or the dance girl, or wanted to be the campus queen. And they were just identifying with the characters, because again, I made sure that every character represented every skin type of every type of Black person, from light to dark, curly hair, long hair, short hair, thick, small, everything. And that just made me feel good that these little kids were looking at this board game that I created based off of my nephews and nieces, and they were identifying with those characters. So representation really is important.